All right, I want to talk about this a little bit. I don't know if I showed this yet in the video, but this is a little hazer that Ulanzi sells. There are other brands out there. I'm sure it's basically the same thing, which is pretty cool. And this can haze a room up pretty quickly. Small rooms, not a lot. You can see that it's pretty greasy, and there's a reason for that. So apparently, the liquid he uses. So my buddy, he vapes and he kind of has. Oh, see, it did it already. I think in heat, the liquid becomes less viscous and it can leak pretty easily. So it leaked one time on set when I wasn't there, and he showed it to me, and then it looks like it leaked again. So I guess the liquid that they use for vape is pretty similar to this. So that kind of sucks. Like I wish if that was the case, they would have probably made this more sealant. I don't know, but yeah, if you are getting a hazer like this, I would kind of look into this. Make sure you store it properly, maybe. But yeah, otherwise it's a cool device, and I'm not worried about wasting the liquid because we have not used this on set at all. So okay, this is the last time I swear I'm talking about this. I'm sure you guys are sick of it, but my Falcom system here, it's messed up. So this is supposed to be able to stick back. This little pin here, silver pin, is supposed to kind of stick up, so that will stay back, but it's not. You can kind of see it, and I don't know what happened. I literally just tried to put my camera back, and then I noticed that this was that, and that happened. So I'm probably trying to contact Ulanzi and see if they know anything about it. Otherwise, I'm not gonna try to fix it because it's beyond my abilities, I'm sure. This next gig is basically the second day from a previous video where I filmed the library, and I have the same setup except that I made sure the gimbal wasn't on the tripod, and the light I had to use the ML30 bicolor because my ML60 is not working. Something happened to it. It won't power on, so I have no idea how to fix that. But it's the same setup, the gimbal, and we're shooting in 4K, and I actually connected to USB to power it just because I'm testing how well the autofocus can work, and I'm not liking it that much. I'm not saying it's bad autofocus, but like where I want to focus, I want to be able to control that a little more. I don't want to touch the screen that much. My audio setup is still the same. This one has G3s into the F3. These are the bags that was brought on set. It's very little, very small, very pretty quick. The only thing that we have to carry outside the bags are the light stand and the gimbals. Here's the interview setup. I had to wait a little bit because the instructor was kind of finishing up with the students for these little, I think, plaster, I don't know, gluing on the mosaic on. I don't know. But artists, I feel like they kind of don't care about time sometimes because I had to go to the next location, the library, by 4:30, and it was getting real close by the time I was able to interview the instructor, and I didn't want it to happen. I didn't want to be late. More importantly, I was getting really hungry, and I had to make sure I had enough energy to film the next location. So if you're an artist, understand that time is very important to us production people. Okay, here's a PSA. If you intend to rig your camera out, first off, rigging is pretty expensive, so keep that in mind. So buy intentionally. And I know sometimes it might be difficult to figure out what you need, so you need to buy stuff to figure it out, but don't overload it. This is actually not an insane amount. It's a lot though. But if you do plan to buy rig stuff, you know, mounting points, rods, arms, whatever. Most of these are just kind of extra stuff, like a monitor. This is the mount for the monitor. I just throw it in here just because. Ball heads, which I'll never use, I throw it away. But I don't recommend you like storing it like I do it. Everything's just laid in here because first off, finding is a difficult thing sometimes. But then there are items that like this is a shotgun mic holder, on camera shotgun mic holder, and there's some missing items here. Yesterday I saw that this part right here was off. And I think one of these screws are for it. This right here, this is a lens mount holder. In order for this to stay up, it needs a screw here. So one of the screws is loose in here. And I don't know what this is here. This little metal piece here. I don't know what this is for. So stay organized. See right here. This is either for that or that. I have no idea. It might be for that because this one's long. And then we have some washers, some springs, some spacers, I'm assuming. So don't do what I do. At least try to organize it a little bit. Over here on my wireless follow focus system, this is a little bit organized, but it's still kind of jumbled everywhere. This was specifically for a job. So I kept everything in here to rig the camera up just to make their life easier instead of having to jump into that case all the time. So that's the idea for this. But look at this, it looks beautiful. But that's a PSA. So if you plan to do rigging stuff, I would maybe organize it a little bit. Don't let things get jumbled around. Now I need to figure out how things work. You know. Also, there are things that you'll get that you'll never use, like this here. I never use this. This is the same system. I bought it because I was like, maybe this will work better, but I never use it. Why? Because before I went to the Falcom system, I'll just show it here, where it's just a clip-on. I was still doing sliding in, right? And when you have this on there, if you have a long lens, right? This is actually in front of the lens or the camera, and then you can't slide it in. So that's why I'm like, this is like kind of a design flaw in my opinion. That's why I guess we like the touch and go plates, you know, the clip-on type stuff where you don't need to slide all the way in. But yeah, some of these are just auxiliary parts from the director's monitor cage I bought. This is it, you know. Not these. These are NATO clamps, which aren't that great because when you put in your 1/4-inch screw, sometimes it goes too far and you can't tighten this up anymore. And that's a flaw. Right here, this is part of the director's monitor thing I purchased. These are 1/4-20. No, these are hot shoe attachment for like magic arms that came with, I think. This is the bent shoulder rig arm. I'm just keeping it because it still works. Magnets. I bought these magnets for a project a while ago where we had to do car mount, and I bought them for extra security, really. But then the car mount, like the three, what are they called? Suction cups. They worked fine. You know, I bought this a while ago. This is a leveler from Neewer. It seems to work okay. Before I discovered what Loctite was, I was like, this keeps turning off. Like it keeps spinning my tripod head off. I don't like that. NATO rails. More NATO rails. I have a bunch of NATO rails. More NATO rails with the 50mm rod insert. This is actually a really good system here because it does double duty. So if you're looking for a NATO rail that can also maybe have a 15-inch millimeter rod, look at this one. I don't know where this came from. This isn't mine. Look, there's a spring here. More rods. This Pico clamp here. This Pico clamp, I have no idea like how to use it really. You could put like maybe a quarter 20, quarter 20 screw here, or 3/8 3/8. But then like when you spin this, it spins the actual holes where you put the threads in. Now you need to spin it to tighten it, right? Like that's not closed, right? If I spin it more, it closes more. So I'm like, how does this work? I think I have to spin this part. I don't know. I got it thinking it would help for something, but I haven't found a use for it, and that's kind of expensive. So, but yeah, all these rigging crap. Then here, I have my magic arms here. These regular magic arms, if you have experienced magic arms, which I'm sure everyone does, you hate regular magic arms. I bought clamps for them, you know, but they don't have any RE locking solutions. So the clamps aren't that great, depending on what you're doing, really. Everything depends, right? Then I bought this, the monitor attachment to the side. I used it on 1 gig and maybe like another, but it's so limited too. Like you're stuck with the monitor attaching where my finger is, my thumb is. This is the right side, it's attached to the camera. You're pretty limited. So yeah, there's a bunch of rigging crap that you can buy, which I would recommend you kind of research it first and see how good it is and see if it works for you. But like I said, sometimes you don't know until you get it. Like this one, I didn't know it would be like this until I got it. The limitations it had. Magic Arms is one of them. But if you need a magic arm, I would recommend you try to get one that's locking, RE locking. Here, I'll show you. So, like this. And if whatever you're locking to can have it, that's great. But these, it can recess. So, you know, you have options. And these specific magic arms here, I like these better than like the regular designs. Because these here, I can grab one. These are pretty limited to how far you can reach out. Like this one, it can only tilt as far, right? But in this opening here, you can do that. So you have to have it in that orientation to be able to utilize it like that. If only they made the one I just showed you guys at this length, then I think it would be amazing. They might. There are like more expensive brands. I usually buy a small rig or Camfate, you know, just whatever suits whatever I want to buy. So, but that's rigging. If you want to learn more about rigging, just check out Caleb Pike's video.